So in this video we're going to consider different units of length. Now, just like we had for maths, different units of length are split up into metric and imperial. And again, I'm just going to look at the most common ones, okay, the ones that really come to mind, that we often use. So in metric, probably the first one that comes to mind is a metre. So a metre is abbreviated with an M. And then if we go smaller than that, then we go to centimetres, which is abbreviated CM. So usually you'll have a 30 centimetre ruler. Now, if we go smaller than that, then you go into millimetres, which is abbreviated MM. Now, if we go larger than the metre, then we go into kilometres, which is abbreviated KM. Okay, so how do we convert between these? Well, just as we did with maths, it's all down to multiples of 10, or powers of 10. So let's start off with a millimetre. Well, there are 10 millimetres in 1 centimetre. Okay, so there's 10 millimetres in a centimetre, and there are 100 centimetres in a metre. Okay, cent meaning 100, so like per cent. So we have 100 centimetres makes up the metre. And just as we had with grams to kilograms, there were 1,000 grams in a kilo, so there are 1,000 metres in a kilometre. Okay, so they're all pretty standard, always multiples of 10. As I said, there are other ones as well in between, and if you're interested, you can look them up online. But I'm not going to go into any kind of like more depth there, because these are the ones that most commonly get used. Now, if we go into imperial, the first one that people might be aware of is miles. Okay, which is sometimes abbreviated to MI. That's probably the most common way of abbreviating a mile. If we go smaller than that, then we go into yards, which is often abbreviated to YD. And there are a number of other ones here in between that I'm not mentioning, because, as I said with the with metric, I'm just going with the ones that most often get used. Then if we go smaller, feet, so abbreviated to FT. So we often refer to somebody's height in feet and inches. So an inch, abbreviated to IN. Now, converting between each of these, a little bit more fiddly than in metric, as you might expect. There are 12 inches in 1 foot. So 12 inches is 1 foot. There are 3 feet in a yard. And there are 1,760 yards in 1 mile. Okay, very easy number to remember there. Okay, so that is how you can convert between each of those. Now, obviously, we're also interested in how do you convert from metric to imperial. Well, the one that gets used probably the most, I would say, in the one that we kind of remember, is going from kilometres to miles. Okay, so how do we convert from kilometres to miles? Well, the one that most people remember is that 5 miles is approximately 8 kilometres. So 5 miles is approximately 8 kilometres. It's the same as saying 1 mile is approximately 1.6 kilometres. Some people remember it like that. But 5 miles to 8 kilometres, that's quite a common way of converting them. Another one that is probably useful to know, but you can also double check on a ruler as well, because your ruler probably contains both centimetres and inches. So quite a common way of remembering how to convert from centimetres to inches is that 1 inch is approximately 2.5 centimetres. Okay, that's a useful one to remember, but obviously you can check that on a ruler as you take into the exam. But 5 miles to 8 kilometres, that is one to remember, but as I said in a previous video, AQA have suggested that would be given to you. And I expect it to be given in any GCSE maths exam as well for you to use. But it is a good one to remember just in case.